Good morning, everybody. Are we live now? Okay. Good morning, the entire universe. Hope you're doing fine. Happy to have you with us here to do nothing. Let's do nothing together for 1 hour for a change. Okay, so let's begin by taking refuge and generating the 4 measurables. Until I have reached full awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By means of beneficial actions such as generosity, may I attain enlightenment in order to benefit beings. Until I have reached full awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By means of beneficial actions such as generosity, may I attain enlightenment in order to benefit beings. Until I have reached full awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By means of beneficial actions such as generosity, may I attain enlightenment in order to benefit beings. May all beings find happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the perfect happiness that is free from suffering. May they abide in great equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all beings find happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they abide in great happiness that is free from suffering. May they abide in great equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. May all beings find happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they not be separated from the perfect happiness that is free from suffering. May they abide in great equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. Let's take a little moment to make sure we're here. Whatever we've been doing before we arrived here, we let it fade away into the past, and what we might have to do in the future, we leave it on hold for now so that we can fully appreciate the leisure and the freedom that is ours in this moment. Now that we are here, we can notice what is. And before we notice what is happening with our mind, then we pay attention to our body. The posture will channel the energies within the body in a proper manner that will support the mind's quietness and attentiveness. So it's a very important element of the meditation. First thing we notice is the contact with the ground, whether we sit on a chair or we sit directly on the floor. There's a sense of stability that we can sense, feel with this contact, and maybe a sense of gratitude in our heart for this beautiful planet that gives us very generously wonderful support for our existence. Our hands can be resting palm down, flat on our thighs, or in the meditation gesture, that is the right hand in the left and both resting in the lap. Our shoulders are slightly outstretched, and that helps our back to be straight, but without unnecessary tension. And as we find this balance in the posture, we notice maybe that there was tension around the abdomen, below the navel. And as we breathe in and out, we just let it drop. As we breathe out, we drop. And our spine is holding the posture together. And our belly can relax. And maybe we begin to sense the center of gravity of this posture, which is slightly below the navel. Solid posture, yet flexible, no tension. The chin is slightly tucked in to keep the head in line with the spine. The mouth is also relaxed, maybe in a half smile. And the tongue is lightly touching the palate. Our gaze is directed straight ahead, eyes half closed, slightly downward in a soft and open vision of what is in front of us. At times, if we find it more comfortable, we can also keep our eyes closed. Breath comes and goes mostly through the nostrils. A natural flow that we don't need to alter. Just notice it. It could be also a good point of reference towards which we come back when we notice that we have been drifting away, following trains of thoughts regarding past or future, not minding the present. Now, this being said, thoughts, sense, perceptions will naturally come to the surface of our conscious mind. And this is not a problem. We don't have to suppress them violently. We don't have to entertain them endlessly either. All sorts of things happen. Sounds, form, ideas. And it's important to welcome them without pinning on them judgment or evaluation. This is good, this is bad. I should hide this, I should promote that. Just let them flow. Like if you're sitting by a beautiful day like today outside and you're looking at the sky and you can't help but noticing the clouds and maybe the sound of the wind in the branches, maybe the movement of the trees. And then at times we are sort of mesmerized by this movement and we just forget to relax in the open expanse of the blue sky. So all of this is just weather, and mind is the sky. Just let the weather come and go and relate to the mind and its open nature. Don't be puzzled by thoughts and don't be attached to stillness. Just really give your mind a break, let it be. And beyond all of this agitation that doesn't operate as agitation anymore, just weather, movement, there is a sense of openness and clarity that begins to dawn, a sense of precision and sharpness and a lightness, uncomplicated. And that's where we abide. In a natural way, we don't try to create the sky, right? We just notice it. Stretch up, move a bit if you need. The mind training literature is giving us a lot of methods to work with what life brings to us and transform this into a path of Bodhi, a path of awakening, an opportunity to cultivate broader compassion and deeper wisdom. And in the text that we use really as a reference for practice here, the path to awakening, the seventh chapter is giving guidelines and sort of like advice on how to practice. And so every Sunday I sort of like pick one, and then so this day today I want to pick one, pick the 51st, 51, slogan 51, not area 51, but slogan 51. And this slogan is as of now. It starts like this: as of now. In Tibetan, say da re. Da means now, and re is as of. As of now, Dharma practice becomes my priority. So it's a very interesting commitment, because we can say, sure, I took refuge, I heard many things, and I understand the value, and I practice. Define practice. Define practice. In Tibetan, the word for practice is nyam len. Len means to seize, nyam the experience. So make the experience. That's another way maybe of translating practice. Because sometimes when you say, oh, yeah, I do my practice, we think of a chore, a duty, or something we like, that we do a certain moment of our day, maybe every other day when we have time, when there's an opportunity, would like to do more of it, but it's not always, the best time. And that's a way of seeing it, which is not entirely wrong, I guess. But here this slogan is really saying, as of now, having the experience of Dharma, of reality, is my priority. And there's no time in, time out. That's the idea. It's all the time. It's all the time. And that's the kind of mindfulness that we need to cultivate. But everything can be an opportunity to deepen our wisdom and broaden our compassion. Everything. And mind training is really pointing out the fact that you don't have to expect an ideal time. This time is good. It's just good enough. Or it's just bad enough. Either way, it doesn't matter. If it's good, you got a lot to give. Exhale, love and compassion, joy, equanimity. If it's hard, take your fair share, breathe in, and then take a little bit more than your fair share, helping people who cannot bear their cross or cannot bear their challenge. So help out. Okay. And as you grow the capacity to take and deal and recycle and transform whatever life throws at you into compassion and wisdom, as you become more master of your skill, as you seize the experience, you made the experience, then you can do more. And you have to worry less about you, because you can deal with everything, or you can deal with most of it. And what I cannot deal with, well, that's exactly what I have to learn now. So the mind becomes a more our mind becomes more confident, and there is a certain form of contentment. We're not expecting things to be perfect. If they're fine, it's not a problem either. If they're a little bit more challenging, it's not a problem either. We'll work with it anyway. You know, it's like if you build something, you know, we've got builders here in the room, you know, like if you reject every piece of wood, you know, just like don't go to Lowe's to buy 2x4 because there's nothing you can do with this, you know. It's just like I wanted pine tree and they gave me banana tree, you know. And then same with the stones. If you want to build a wall, you know, you have to find a way to just like place the right stone at the right place. This two architects, you know, here that I like, Green and Green. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with them. You know, the art and craft. Okay, and one of the Green brother was building his house in Carmel in California, but southern Monterey. And so he had his masons, and then they were working and building, and he gave them instruction on how the build should be, a retaining wall, how the wall should be built, and so on. And he had to go for 3 days. And then when he come back, and then he said, like, who put this stone here? And the guy said, like, well, I did it, you know. So it's like, take it down. Can't you hear the wall? It doesn't ring. It doesn't ring. Okay, so the guy just took the stone and put it somewhere else where it would ring. It's not that. It's just where you put it and how you put it. That's not about the stone. So life is the same thing for me. It's, you know, you can see some art over there. You know, David, the master of doing art with funny pieces of wood. and then turning this into a Buddha. You know, whether it looks like a Buddha or it doesn't look like a Buddha, it doesn't matter, you know, but it's creating like poetry in a sense that you take something that exists but was not known or seen properly, you place it in a different light, and suddenly it's something else that is inspiring, enlightening, or just pleasing to the eye. So that's the slogan for me. From now on, that's what I'm going to do. And there's no bad days, there's no good days, there's no excuses. Every day, you take what you have and you enjoy it as an opportunity to cultivate deeper wisdom, broader compassion. And for that, we don't waste time. Because oftentimes when we say, like, I'm waiting for a good occasion so I can sit and practice, you know, like as if practicing was manufacturing something, laying an egg, you know, I need some straw and a chicken coop so I can lay my egg, you know, no. So sometimes I see it in myself. This is just a good way to procrastinate, you know, as soon as I'm a Buddha, I will be a good person. You know, or as soon as everything is in order, I will do that thing. Never happens. There is not an ideal day. It's just a day, and you do the best out of it. And what you can't do, then you learn from it. And then next day you have another day, and then you build up. You build up. That's the seize, construct the experience. That's how you become a master of your skill, of your trade. So don't waste time. You know, I like to divide lifetime not in years, but in days. And the average lifespan is 30,000 days. 30,000 days. And that includes all the time we sleep. You know, and okay, I see a lot of white hair around here, you know, so I think we've spent, like, let's say, be optimistic, a good 20,000 or maybe just half of it. And, you know, like, in a way, you don't want to waste this precious opportunity each day into a time that flows by without you making something out of it. You know, you're an artist. The day is your canvas, or it's your wall, or it's your timber frame, or whatever, your bread, whatever you do. Carpe diem, use this day to make something out of it that would be good for you and good for others. So that's really the heart of this advice, you know. From now on, becoming a master of the realization of reality, cultivating, deepening wisdom and broadening compassion. It's going to be my full-time job. There is no unemployment there. It's a full-time job. And in order to do this, we really have to understand three things and keep in mind three things. The first one, there are more people in the world than just yourself. And some people have real problems. And just by the number, they are more important than just you. You is more important because you think it is as the center of everything, because this is from where the point from which you look at everything. So it sort of gives a sense, a false sense of importance. But if you just count by the number, there were more people out there than just me by the number. Therefore, just simply by the number, they deserve more attention and more time. So that's the first consideration, okay? The second consideration is that there are different types of instructions we may receive, you know? When we come here, for example, and then we study the teachings that the Buddha gave and so on, there's two ways to approach it. There's one way which is intellectual. We study, we read, and so on. And then there's another way to approach it, which is more experiential through your own meditation, your own contemplation. You validate what you have learned and thought about. And if we have to make let's say, a choice between the two, it is more important to spend the time we have to experience things than building up an academic knowledge. Words are helpful if and only, and useful if and only they lead you to contemplation and personal experience. If they take all the space, they're just another conceptual activity that's not going to liberate. So if you have to make a choice in these two formulation of the teachings, one which is academic, one which is more meditative and experiential, then the experience is more important. And then in the academic version of it, there are things that you can study forever, you know, like endless commentaries, and there's always somebody who write the new books, and then so you can just go on forever. And there are the instructions that you receive that are custom tailored for you in the exchange with your spiritual friends, with your teachers. And they sort of like select, handpick among these huge, vast treasure of instructions, the few things that will be pertinent, that will be extremely efficient for you. And that's what you should cherish. And in terms of study, just like, let's get here in Shaman Rinpoche left us with a path to awakening, boundless wisdom. Okay. If you don't have much time to read, just read that. Okay. And then think about it. And then most important, put it into practice. And the third consideration is do not procrastinate. Just like do it right now, right now, right now. So let's do it right now. Through this merit, may I attain true omniscience. Then, having overcome all harmful, destructive forces, may I liberate sentient beings from the ocean of existence and its turbulent waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. May the most precious mind of awakening that has not yet dawned now rise. Once arisen, may it never decline. May it continue to increase evermore. Thank you all very much. Thank you, friends over the rainbow. Enjoy your Sunday, be well, and see you next week if you feel like. Bye.